I guess it happened right between 2 and 2:30. The power went out. So I figured, okay, yeah, big storm. I grabbed my water and my Kindle, and I was going to go read. And I was just walking out of my office through our family room, and it was really weird. The air pressure changed, almost like I was up in the mountains or in an airplane or something. And then I heard a roar, a noise, and like I said, growing up in Michigan, I was familiar with tornadoes, and I figured that was what it was. So we have a little half bath there in the hallway that's right in the middle of the house, no windows or anything. So I dove in there, and the house shook for maybe 10 seconds or so. I mean, it felt like an eternity, but I could feel some vibrations and some noise, and then total silence. And I peeked out slowly, and it was very, very quiet. And I looked outside. We had probably close to 20 trees in our yard. Every single one was lying down, all facing the same direction. And I went out the front. We had a big oak in the front that had fortunately had fallen into the cul-de-sac. And I went out front, crawled over some limbs, looked back at the house, and the roof was gone. And it started to rain and proceeded to rain into the attic, and that was the primary damage that the house had.
Right before it happened, we were standing out in the parking lot just like any Arkansan would do, staring at the sky, and realized it was fixing to get hairy. And we ducked and covered at that point, and it hit the building.
Yeah.
It was knocking ceiling tiles out.
As we got into the office and shut the door, and by the time we all got in that office, things started crashing, and we knew it was on top of us.
Yeah. We walked out, saw the destruction, and everybody kind of went to work. We knew it was going to be bad. I mean, we took a look around and saw that it was bad. And by that time, there were people already migrating towards the fire station out of other buildings around. We just sat them in the engine room and kept them under what cover we had left to keep them safe.
Within just a few minutes, Little Rock police came by, and they were going out door to door and knocking, and they said, "Are you okay? Are you alone?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm fine." And they actually said, stay put for now until we know what's going on. The driveway was blocked by limbs, so I just stayed here. I'm sure I was in shock at that point. Our house was probably one of the only ones in our street that did not have a tree lying on it. I went to the back steps there and looked out, and in this part of the yard, we had probably a dozen trees in our backyard, and they were all leaning in the same direction, and they had just gone roots up. There were massive holes.
The main power lines in front of the station were down. We couldn't hardly get any trucks, so we had to get our vehicles out. But that's the beauty of the fire department. All the other units started working their way in because the victims that we had there, they had to be able to get ambulances in there to them, and they couldn't even do that. I mean, we got hit, but there were several people that it wasn't just our station that worked that day.
March 31st, 2023 is a day that I will never forget. Neither will many of the residents of Little Rock. It's a day of tragedy, a day of a lot of tension. Within seconds of the tornado hitting, we all demonstrated how Little Rock is strong, because we are Little Rock strong, and demonstrating not only our unity but our resilience. And so you saw our city come together like no other because of the tragedy that we experienced from a natural disaster. And the main goal was to go straight into a mindset of response, recovery, and rebuilding.
I would say that the one thing is, don't try to recreate what you had. Go forward, not backward.
Yeah, and I've seen a lot of our neighbors kind of take that approach where they're not putting things back exactly the same way, and I think that's probably for the better. Take the opportunity to make the change and try something new, and I think that helps. And you got to mourn what you've lost, but to move forward.
Yeah, because otherwise it would be too depressing to try to, because we will never see the trees again.